Hi guys, just going to go through the solutions to the yesterday's test. So as well as seeing the solutions, you're going to hear the explanation of them here. Maybe looking at the solutions will be enough for some of you, but for some you prefer to have some audio explanation too. So the diagram here shows the line PQ and the line QR. The QR coordinates of the points are 4, 2, 8, 5, and 2, 11. Okay, they're the coordinates. Find the slope of PQ. So this is simple enough. I mean, they're looking for the slope. If they're looking for the slope, then that tells you use the slope formula. Okay, so the slope formula, slope is equals to, now we can't really do rise over run on this one. You could, I suppose, but I think this would be the better, quicker way to do it. So we're talking about PQ. So P is 4, 2. Q is 8, 5. And as always, label these x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? Just substitute them into the formula. y2 is 5 minus from the formula. Y1 is 2 over x2 is 8 minus x1 is 4. Do the top line, we're left with 3. The bottom line, we're left with 4. And that's our slope. Someone asked me yesterday, can you get a fraction as your slope? You can, of course, yeah. And actually, more often than not, you do. And that was question 1A. Okay, nice easy start to it. Probably for that, 10 marks going for that. I haven't done out the marking scheme just yet for that, but I'll write it in later. Question 2, we have the points A and B. They're the end points of a diameter. A diameter is basically a line, so think of it that way, of the circle W. Find the coordinates of the center of W. So if they're looking for the center of the circle, they're looking for basically the midpoint of that line AB. So they don't say the word midpoint, but that is what they're looking for. Okay, so A and B, maybe we'll label them X1, okay, we'll try that again. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. This time we're using the midpoint formula. These formulas were written on the board for you during the test. So the midpoint formula was adding the x's together, dividing by 2, adding the y's together, dividing by 2. So we're left with 1 plus 9 divided by 2, and the y's are 8 plus 0 divided by 2. So what are we left with here? We're left with 10 on the top line over 2, and we're left with 8 over 2. And you can divide there. 10 divided by 2 is 5, comma 8 divided by 4 is 4. That's our midpoint. Okay, so the midpoint here is 5, 4. Okay, sometimes people change the comma to a plus sign for some reason, but don't. It's supposed to be a midpoint. So you're supposed to have an x bit and a y bit at the end. Find the length of the radius. Okay, so this is a nice question because it's testing both it's testing your midpoint formula and it's testing the distance formula too. And again, the distance was given, the formula was given on the board. It's x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Now, what 2 points do they want us to use? They're talking about the radius. This time they're talking about the radius of W. So they're talking about like from here to B or from the center to A. So you have a choice here. I'm going to use from the center 5, 4 to B. So I'm going to use the center 5, 4 and the point B, which is 9, 0. Just label them like we always do, x1, y1, x2, y2, and sub them into the formula back over here. So x2 is 9 minus x1, which is 5 squared, plus y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 4 squared. So we're left with 4 squared here plus minus 4 squared here. Okay, that leaves us with 16 plus minus 4 squared is also 16. Okay, now you need to just add those two together. It gives you the square root of 32. Now, if you left it at that, you know, you've 9 marks out of 10. But if you look at the question, they did ask us to write it in this form. So if you just go to your calculator, try this now if you didn't do it the last time. Put square root 32 and press equals. On your calculator, you get this. 4 multiplied by square root 2. That's, you know, that's for 10 out of 10. Okay. This is 9 out of 10. This is 10 out of 10. Okay. So no harm if you didn't write it that exact way. Okay. Question 3. The line L contains the point A and B. Find the equation of L. So as I always said to you, if you're in class, if you're looking for the equation of something, you need to know the slope and you need to know one point. So again, we'll just label our points. Okay. We need to get the slope because they haven't given it to us. Okay, let's fill in here. We have y2 is 0, minus y1 is 5, and x2 is 2, minus x1 is 4. We get negative 5 on top. We get negative 2 on the bottom, which is a negative on top and a negative on bottom. So that means we're dividing negative by negative, which gives us a positive. And you can put it as 5 over 2. Okay, that's our slope. Okay, so let's now get the equation. So we'll use the equation formula that I gave you on the board. So y minus y1 is 5. I've it already labeled. M is the slope, which we just found to be 5 over 2. X minus x1, which is 4. Okay, we have a fraction. So I always said deal with that fraction by multiplying by the denominator. In this case, so it's 2. So the bottom part of the fraction. So multiply both sides by 2. So we end up with 2 by y, which is 2y. 2 by minus 5 is minus 10. 5 over 2 by 2 cancels that 2 and you're just left with a 5. Now let's deal with the bracket on the right hand side there. 5 by x is 5x. 5 by minus 4 is minus 20. Now they ask us to write our answer in this form. So where everything is on the left side and nothing is on the right side. So we want nothing over here. So bring over the 5x becomes negative 5x. We have the 2y, it's positive. We have negative 10 there. Bring over the minus 20, which becomes a plus 20. Okay. So we can tidy up. Negative 20 plus 20 gives us a plus 10. And finally, we want to have a positive and x. So change that minus 5x to a positive 5x. But if we do that, we have to change all the signs. So it becomes a negative 2y and a negative 10. Goes to 0. And that's the final answer for that one. Okay, probably a 15-mark question, that one. Now, in part B, they want us to draw that line, okay? So let's draw that line. The best way to draw that line is to rewrite the line with y in its own on the left-hand side. So you'll remember me doing these. So I would bring, so we have 2y here, bring over that x, becomes a negative x. We have positive 8 is already there. Then to get rid of the 2, divide by 2. So just go back. If you forgot how to do this, go back to our notes. You'll see it's there. 2 into 2 goes 1, so you're left with 1y, which is what we want. We want negative y. We want y on its own. Now, that's a negative 1 in front of the x. So divide 1 by 2 and divide the 8 by 2. Okay, now we know the slope. And we know where it cuts the y-axis. Okay, that's the advantage of writing it this way. So it cuts the y-axis at 4, so let's have that as our starting point. The slope is -1, so we fall 1 down to 3, okay? And then the run is 2, so we go over 2 units. 1, 2, so here, this is 2 down here, so we'll go over 2 units. So that's that. Now I'm just going to tidy that up a bit, get rid of these lines. Okay, but there's our 2 points. We get our ruler and we draw a line between them. That's it. Okay, then it asks us on the next page, using a graphic, numeric, or algebraic method, find the coordinates of L intersection K, so where the 2 lines meet. Well, this is the line K that we just drew. This is the line K. Now, L must be the first part up here, L. So we have to draw this, we'll have to draw this line as well, okay? So let's draw that doing the same way. So we've, actually, we have 2 points in this line, A and B, up here. We have these 2 points up here. So we could just use those 2 points. 4, 5. So 4, 5, let's use a different color for this one. We'll use green. So 4, 5 is there. That was the point A, and the point B was 2, 0. So there. Get our ruler. And draw a line between them. And where's the point of intersection? So it's right here. Point of intersection is 3, 2.5. I wonder, did some of you use simultaneous equations for that? Simultaneous equations would have been the algebraic way to do it, you know? So you could have done it that way. The numeric way of doing it would have been just to guess and just keep substituting in numbers into both equations. And the graphic method is just the one we just did there. I think that's the handiest one for that. Okay, I think I'll stop the video at this because otherwise the file will be too big, and I'll do a second part.